actually rules that are specific to the portion of the law that is about the penalty piece that is already prescribed in law, but that it needs specificity in due process that's afforded districts.
So what constitutes this rule as an emergency as opposed to others?
Thank you.
Yes, so when there is a requirement by statute, when the legislature passes a law and says you are to implement rules, that's one of the bases for an emergency. So we're not talking about health and welfare. It's the reason why we're here on these rules is because the legislature specifically said promulgate rules, and so we're getting rules in place. Does that make sense?
The other thing to mention is without the process, without due process in place, it would mean a time of having no due process or information to school districts about a portion of the law that really does not have the information about how penalties could be assessed.
And so when these rules become permanent, there will be the process of public comment and all of that before?
Correct. These emergency rules would expire at the end of the next legislative session if permanent rules aren't promulgated. And permanent rules are what you're thinking of. It goes out notice and comment, everybody submits, and then that would be acted on by the board.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the permanent rule process typically happens in the winter months, with those coming before the board by no later than April 1. So it is important for there to be that due process in place long before then. I would like to say that I found the public comment on these rules to be very compelling and want very much, regardless of that these rules really do not speak to the law, I want to ensure that we send the message that every child in Oklahoma public schools belongs and is valued. And mental health is an aspect of a child's life, and we know that there are vulnerable communities that are at high risk for consequences of deteriorated mental health. And I would like that separated from what we're discussing today, which is a very procedural element that actually provides due process in this application of the law.
I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes, second.
All right. Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Williams Bradley?
Aye.
Ms. Letha?
Aye.
Mr. Bobek?
Aye.
Superintendent Hoffman?
All right, that motion is carried. Thank you.